Have you started trying again now?
Yeah.
Can people hear me this time? I'm going to wait for the delay on the YouTube comments.
Let's try again.
Or maybe
and
here.
see what happens.
Oh, can people hear me?
An alternative.
Someone says they can hear me.
Wow.
Yay!
Fantastic.
Okay.
We're live.
Oh, take two. Right, here we go. Hello, welcome to the second attempt at the Thrive Livestream live podcast, whatever, to celebrate the release of Thrive 0.5.2. I am Oliver River. I do most of the music in the game. I also do various other things like outreach and some graphic stuff, and yeah, but I haven't been all that active lately. We also have 1N48.
1N48YG, yeah.
What? Yep.
Yes, I'm a programmer for the team.
Yep, programmer with a very confusing name, and Buckley.
Yeah, I'm the game designer, and I make sure that everything's balanced, and as well as review any concepts we come up with.
Cool. Then we have Hira Leyden, who's the main programmer, who does most of the development.
Yes, and also tries to stream sometimes with mixed results. This time I had to
got there eventually.
I had to restart OBS and it just works TM. So
Okay, we might have to chop the start off the recording. And finally, we have Nagarath.
Yeah, hello. I usually do the trailers and discuss ideas, and yeah, basically.
So that's all the people we have right now. We may have some more people at some point soon. Depends on who turns up, who doesn't. But yeah, welcome to the stream. We don't have anything prepared, except I guess we could give an overview of all the new things in 0.5.2. Then we'll be answering questions from the chat from here until it gets too silly to continue. Hira Leyden, are you able to stream some Thrive for everyone?
I did try that. It should work.
Cool. I don't think the recording on YouTube I'm watching has caught up yet. But yeah, Thrive 0.5.2 is out. It's got some new stuff, some new UI stuff, a tutorial, which I've been looking forward to for a long time. I feel the game has needed a tutorial for quite some time. I've played through it with the tutorial. It's a bit bare bones, but it's enough for now. It actually tells people what buttons to press and what they should be looking for. Lots of new shiny tool tips, so I think most of them were in the game previously. I should probably read the actual patch notes for this because I did not prepare this beforehand. If someone else can talk about some of the stuff in the new release, who knows more about it, that might be helpful.
Well, who should go first?
I found the list anyway. I'll just read some of that out.
All right.
So some improvements to the auto-evo algorithms, such as actually computing populations instead of having random populations, which is nice. That's quite an important part of population dynamics, to actually have some populations that are deterministically calculated. Some new particle effects in the environment with toxins. So you'll now see some, like, I don't know, some fuzzy purple clouds, things that you should definitely not swim into because they will hurt you.
They look quite pretty, though.
Yeah, they're nice. Complete overhaul of the editor UI, so to bring it in line with the in-game UI that's been there for a while. Saving and loading of stuff has been improved. Spawn system improvements, updated the Godot version, Godot being the engine that we're running underneath to actually do all the graphic stuff. Better cell physics, some ability to change options during gameplay. I assume that means that options were available before.
Yeah, it wasn't possible to modify the options while you were playing.
Okay, that should be good. So if you want to hear the music, perhaps you want it louder while you're playing the game, you can now turn that up if you want and listen to the sweet musical tunes as you're swimming around. Manual saving of options. Sound effects and ambience now have separate volume sliders. That's nice. Better volume slider effects. God, this is a long list. Scaling text improvements. So an indicator in the editor showing the current year inside the game. That's quite nice. Warnings if you've built a cell that won't be able to survive in the environment, thanks to the ATP balance indicator. Some more changes to the editor through Hex UI. F1 now opens the help menu. That's nice. That's useful. Tooltips for more things in the editor. Improvements to sunlight calculation, because previously it was possible to have more than 100% sunlight, which would that just be like literal inside a star? That 100% sunlight seems a bit excessive. Balance tweaks. I don't really know how many more, but lots of new bugs fixed.
If you like,
Sorry?
I can iterate on the balance changes.
Yeah, that might be helpful, since I don't really know the details.
Of course. I changed a few things. The most prominent would be photosynthesis and membranes. I went ahead and rebalanced membranes to make sure that they are all quite distinct in gameplay. If I recall correctly, what's it called? The silica and I can't quite remember the other one, but basically the heaviest membranes are now specialized in what they do. Like, for example, the silica membrane takes more toxin damage than the other membranes while being more defensive against pyrite. Photosynthesis has been buffed now that it has a lower ceiling for light. And yeah, I also went ahead and buffed the processes on metabolisms and mitochondria.
Cool. So lots of new balance improvements in making some of the membranes actually more useful for specialized situations, which is, I guess, the direction we want to take those sorts of parts in. I've lost my place in this list now. More editor buttons. Now play the button press sound. Open the saves folder for the main menu. Remove old saves. A warning when trying to load a save made with a different game version, which is nice because more than likely that would break. Lots of different fixes. Change population numbers to ints from ints to longs to allow much bigger maximum populations. Ooh, nice. You can now take screenshots using print screen as well as F12. So all of you people who make very big and impressive cells, you can do that now. As the print screen button is available. It will no longer create a black screen, which I think was happening before.
I mean, that's like the default Windows action. So now the game reacts to the press as well and makes a screenshot.
Okay, that makes sense. More responsive AI. Symmetry on the mutation point bar. More balancing stuff. Player daughter cell is now prevented from splitting immediately after exiting the editor to prevent 3 cells after exit. Okay. Patches now show their depth. Game should now appear in Windows program list / task manager as Thrive instead of Godot. I ran into this myself earlier because my antivirus said it was optimizing. I remember I played a previous build and it said it was optimizing Godot. And this time it said it was optimizing Thrive. I have no idea what it was doing to optimize. I don't know how it was possible to optimize, but it was doing something and it knew what the name was. So that's nice. And yeah, that's all the major ones. So I guess the main things, tutorial, new editor UI, and lots of just minor improvements to things. So very well done to all the programmers and game designers for creating this release and getting it out there.
We look forward to seeing what people think about our changes, especially the tutorial.
Yep,
It's quite nice.
and if you have any comments, you can leave them. The most useful place to leave them would be on our community forums. That is, hold on, I'm going to make sure I get the URL right. Community.revolutionarygamestudio.com. Someone's just created a 0.5.2 feedback thread, so you can reply to that. I will post a link to that in the chat. Or you could also go to our subreddits. That's r/Thrive. Post stuff there, ask questions, make memes about the game, whatever you want. But yeah, it's more useful to post on our forums if you want to give feedback. Yeah, I think that's all the main admin things then. Anyone else have any immediate comments?
Yeah, this is probably like I warned people that this is like the longest patch notes ever. So we definitely got a lot of things done, and I think we had the most different contributors this time as well, thanks to new team members and some random people who just wanted to fix a few issues but didn't join the team.
And to branch off that, this is your, I guess, like 15-minute-ly, I don't know, half-hourly reminder that we are a volunteer open source team that anyone can join. Just send an email. Well, go to revolutionarygamestudio.com and look at the Get Involved page. It will give you information on how you can send an email to us as an application. We're mostly on the lookout for programmers, obviously, but if you have other skill sets that are applicable to creating games, sound effects are a particular one we need right now, or graphics programmers would be very nice. But any of those sorts of things, then feel free to join. We will assess your application and potentially ask you to join or send you in the direction of the community. So yeah, I guess that's everything we need to mention to start.
So moving on, are we going to start answering questions, or can we discuss future plans?
I guess we could do either. If anyone wants to talk about future plans, that would be helpful, because I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's the case every stream that we haven't made the thread to discuss the future plans yet. So each individual person can only like say what they are thinking about doing. For me, that is, I'm going to try to improve the saving code. It's not going to be visible, but for future programmers, it's going to be a bit easier to make things work with saving, and I'll probably fix some saving stuff and then get the translations pull request done. So those are like the main two things I want for next release definitely to be done. And of course, maybe the binding agents thing that I didn't have time to work on for this release that's still on the table. Not sure if I still have time to do it after those two other big things.
Anyone else want to talk about what they're planning to do in the near future?
Oh, I plan to finally finish my 4-month-old branch, hopefully.
And which one is that?
Oh, it's the one trying to fix populations, because right now, when the player dies, basically all the population is like subtracted from the current patch, so you can have negative population in some of the patches. I'm trying to fix that right now. I'm trying to take it from
ghost versions of your cells. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't forget that it's already put in the 0.5.3 milestone, that issue.
Well, as always, my personal plans are just to continue working on balance. I have some plans written out for whenever the spawn system gets fully fixed. There's still a few things to iron out with it.
Yeah, I hope it will get fixed soon, because it's one of the worst areas of the game.
Indeed.
No, I think I've been considering getting into making some sound effects for a while, maybe, because I have my microphones and stuff. So I might as well just go out recording some things and see if it works. I just haven't really done much of it in the past, so I don't know.
That would
If
that
fun
would be good.
to try and mess with.
Yes, we do need sound effects. We got a load of sound effects people a couple of weeks ago, but then they all disappeared.
Yeah,
Or at least became inactive.
I opened an issue asking for new sounds or like reworking some of the existing sounds because we don't have sounds for all types of damage stuff, so they are reused a bit currently.
We should probably just give them a little nudge.
Yeah, well, we do ask people to state in their application whether they're okay with being contacted out of the blue if they do disappear. So maybe we should try and use that option, exercise that option a bit more.
Yeah,
See if we
that's
can
a
explain to people.
bit difficult because like I think like the team leads are supposed to like try to get their teams to do stuff. So if the team leads are a bit inactive, it's a bit problematic because you would need to like get new people involved and be involved long enough for them to become the team lead so that they can then like take over the asking people to do stuff every now and then.
Well, I guess as the sound team lead, I can do that. I just haven't been paying close enough attention to anything recently, I'm afraid. Sorry. Yeah. And just for me personally, I guess there's been some talk of revamping the Microsoft soundtrack with some remastered, in inverted commas, themes and some new themes, depending on the different biomes. But I don't have enough time myself to do that at the moment, and so we'd need some more musicians to join and be willing to work on that in the near future.
Yeah, I think it seemed pretty good that the new musicians wanted to make new tracks, but so far I don't think we have seen any of those new tracks done. So
No, quite disappointing.
maybe they are
I guess that's
working on it.
Again, my own fault for not badgering people enough or being involved enough to tell people what to do. So anyway, I guess that's coverage of our future plans. Are we going to stream Thrive, actual Thrive gameplay? Because I've been watching the view on YouTube, and I think Hirolainen, you said you were going to, but you didn't.
Well, I didn't want to start yet.
Okay.
I think it would be a decent thing to do while we start answering questions.
Did anyone mention everyone on the community Discord? Because I think we did that for previous streams to get a bit more viewers.
Someone has posted it. Gorov Spark has just posted it, or did so a while ago. So we've told people in the Discord. People want Thrive. People want to see Thrive gameplay. I guess we can do that, or Hirolainen can do that once he sets it up.
I think it should be now. Now
Oh, yeah,
there.
I'm seeing it. So you can show off well, it's not new, but the option screen with some tweaks since last version, and that can now be accessed while you're in the game.
Really nice.
So very pleasing sliders.
Indeed so. Look how smooth they are.
Well, the smoothness wasn't improved, but a new decibel to linear conversion was added, so it should like work better instead of going quite like really slowly and then really fast at some point.
Should we start taking questions from the chat in the meantime while Hirolainen plays some Thrive?
I'm quite fine with that.
Cool. Okay, if anyone does have a question, please ask it now, because we didn't actually get any questions from our priority questions from our Patreon supporters in the end on the forum.
Yeah,
So we're
but
going straight
once
to the
again,
YouTube chat.
I
Look
hope
at that tutorial.
that there will be a day when the VIP patrons ask a single question at least.
We should mention we have a Patreon now. I'll find it and post a link.
Yes, so we are trying to raise some money to have someone at work at least part-time, like confirmed on the game.
So yeah, you can go to there, support Thrive. There's some amount per month. Every bit helps. Most of this is going towards server costs, and as Helena said, eventually hoping to support someone, probably a programmer part-time.
Yeah.
But thank you very much to all of our patrons. Patrons. There we go.
Oh man, one person is asking about the trailer now.
Yeah, people want the trailer. They asked earlier in the community Discord as well.
I'll make sure to have it at some point tomorrow.
Yeah, there was a slight mix-up with the release date, so we don't have a trailer ready today, but it should be out tomorrow, easily. I don't know, I'm just wondering, should we do shout-outs for Patreons, whatever they are? Or is that not listed as a reward?
Isn't listed as a reward, so... Well, it's a
can't do that
future
yet.
thing that could happen, but...
Maybe if you give us enough, you could appear on one of these streams as a participant. It's a bit risky. Yes, here Elaine, you can see, is currently demonstrating some of the tutorial things. It shows you how to move your cell and where to go to get compounds, and what those compounds are used for. So I think, looking at the game, most of it looks really nice right now, but the compound clouds are a bit weird still. And most of that is because of an engine change a while ago, because they looked better before that, and then along the way, the quality diminished. I don't know what level of priority that is at the moment, though.
That would be something for a graphics programmer to do. And that was like 2 or 3 rendering engines ago that the clouds looked good, so... But,
didn't we also talk about, like, at one point? Or something? Maybe I misremember.
sorry, you turned into a robot, so... Didn't hear that.
Oh, weird. I was just wondering, if I remember correctly, we talked about using particle effect for the cloud at one point, right? For the clouds. Why am I misremembering that?
I mean, I think that was for the toxins. But now that I remember, I'm going to open an issue or like make a note for myself to do it later, but to try to make the clouds look like in 0.3.4, as that was the most beautiful version.
Yeah, because the rest of the game does look really nice now. Like, the UI is amazing. The cell is nice and wobbly. It moves around organically as you move around. Lots of nice tooltips and things, and the background is really cool. So it's just foreground. I think people did start asking questions a while ago.
Oh.
Some. Is there a public Discord? Oh, sorry.
Someone post a Discord link, public Discord link.
I will go and do that. I can find the link. this. So, yep.
This really
link
does
should be in
look
the chat.
nice.
I must say, I am in love with that UI.
The editor
Yeah.
looks very tasty now. But yes, that is the link to our community Discord that you can join and talk about the game and talk to devs and things. We are currently using our own development Discord to talk right now. So
Somebody in the comments are talking about chimps throwing poop.
I don't really want to know how we ended up with that.
Good question.
What other questions?
Emerald Gamer 000 asks, do you guys have any ideas for what the next stage will be like?
Cells, but many.
Whoa.
Multi.
I mean, the progression towards that will be joining loads of cells together in some way at the end of the microbe stage, and then at some point it will transition to becoming that clump of cells that is now a multicellular object. I don't know how much of the specifics we've really defined. Does anyone else know more than that?
Well, we've discussed multiple methods in the past, but I think the one that has the most traction at the moment is that once your cell evolves binding agents, you'll be able to track down others of your species and bind with them, becoming a sort of cellular colony. From there, you'll slowly transition from a colony to a true multicellular organism, though the specifics aren't quite discussed yet, I don't think. We hope it'll be a smooth transition, though. Very fun.
Yeah, that's the plan for whenever I get around to implementing the binding agents thing. Maybe next release, maybe after that. But yeah, you start off binding to other members of your species, forming colonies. So the gameplay doesn't actually change that much. And then after that, once you reach some size or something, we'll have you start placing like specialized cells, like in a body plan editor or something like that. So still it will be very much cell based. So it will be very smooth to get into multicellular. Probably at some point we have to like zoom out and stop showing the cells and instead have something like tissues. So that might be a bit of a jump, but it will be still pretty smooth, hopefully.
Thank you, Untrusted. I couldn't quite think of the name. I appreciate that.
Should I go through some more questions that we've had? When will the player get to poop? That must have been what sparked the discussion.
That was a question.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't think we have any ideas. There's not an issue that's currently on GitHub that says allow the player to excrete waste material. I don't think
we haven't
that,
really
I don't think so,
discussed
at least.
poop-related issues yet, so.
I'm sure there's some thread on it somewhere in one of our many forums in the history. But yeah, we don't have much information on that right now, I'm afraid.
Just found a new bug that I haven't seen before.
Is that the compound cloud going a weird color?
Oh, here we go. Somebody is asking about the... No, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Somebody is asking about Smeltel the Meltel.
Ah, the forbidden question.
Oh no. Where have they done this? Why exactly can't we use hydrothermal? Oh dear. Oh no. Well, I mean, it's been discussed many times, and there have been many conclusions to come to. I can't recall any of them right now, but if you want to go searching through our old forums, you'll find a very long thread on underwater civilizations where people got very angry at each other. And yeah, I think the upshot is we're not adding underwater civilizations.
Let's
If we
just
ever get to
say-
that stage anyway.
Let's just say it's highly implausible.
Yes, let's go with that.
Yeah,
If people want to mod it in, sure.
latest discussion is basically that what if they hold their breath and go run around on a beach to collect branches in order to make a fire on the beach, and every 30 seconds running back into the ocean and back again, and then they can smelt all the metal on the beach while running to the ocean every 30 seconds.
That's dedication.
It doesn't sound like an evolutionarily advantageous strategy.
Yeah, you have to actually be the player and be an intelligent designer to tell your species to basically kill themselves for a few generations before they get metal.
Yeah.
Long-term
Seems complicated.
investments. Sorry.
Any other questions?
Maybe we should ask the chat to name the species. I'm currently playing.
Yeah. That's going to end well.
Flying cars? Are you sure you want your species to be driving those around?
Yes.
Somebody asked, when will we get the new membrane, referring to the creator's membrane, which by this point is actually very old. Is it new? Oh no, the one that was on the... I'm thinking of another one. He made a post on the dev forums quite recently, actually. Didn't he?
Yeah, we'll get that once. I think it looked very good, and we'll get that once someone programs it in the game. Which is the case
So-
for like most features.
So if you want this in the game, learn programming and join the team. Or speak to someone you know who already knows programming and would be a good fit for this. So or pay Hiralainen. That's another option.
Yes, if you
All right, should we go on to another question?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was looking for one. Do you have one?
Someone in the comments asks, would there be multiple toxins and antitoxin immunity proteins? Or
Yes, there's a lot of concepts going around related to that issue. None of them are really set in stone, but I think the one that's gained the most traction so far is the protein slot system. I think I'll post a link real quick.
So could you give a brief overview of that?
Sure thing. Basically, you'll be able to, and let me get a good picture because I'm poor at explaining things. You'll be able to select certain proteins and set them into slots. These proteins that you unlock. And these slots are going to be placed within a certain organelle, such as the nucleus or micronucleus. And these organelles will house the slots which won't take up physical space in your cell. This will allow you to give your cell upgrades without getting larger. These proteins will mostly be passive effects, such as maybe defense against cold, heat, other toxins, etc. Through this system, it's plausible that we may be able to implement new kinds of toxins as well as defenses against those. As you can see in this picture I just posted, your different proteins will have different sizes.
And is the idea eventually still to have some kind of agent or toxin, I guess, synthesizing system where you can create agents that your cell can produce for different properties and different actions? So not just damaging other cells, but perhaps damaging a specific type of organelle or neutralizing an existing toxin or binding agents that can tell other cells of your species to do certain things. Is that still all on the cards? Because I remember that was the original plan for these things.
It hasn't really denied or anything. It just hasn't really been at upfront discussion. So, but
Okay.
it's possible. I'd like to have more options like that.
Because that's always been the interesting thing to me, is the ability to create different agents that do different things and change behavior in lots of different ways, both of your cell and other cells of your species, or even other cells of other species.
Indeed, so. It's possible we could have a means of simplifying that into a form of an upgrade system.
Yeah, that is possible. I think it's worth having a look through some of the old concepts that were developed many years ago, because some of those were quite nice.
Indeed, so.
Not that we should go for them definitely, but they're a good starting point, and I think we should try not to lose any of that.
I agree. The problem is, though, is that we want to avoid having too many editors within one editor, because it can get quite overwhelming.
True. Yeah, I guess we'll have the behavior editor as well, where you can change the AI attributes for other members of your own species. So tell them to be particularly aggressive or react to certain environmental stimulus in certain ways, which also is one of my most anticipated, personally, features of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So could you program your species to hold their breaths and go smelt metal on land?
Not if they're cells. Not quite.
I suppose only time will tell.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to see it done, you can join the team and make it. That's what we'll say to every strange and crazy idea.
Harlanen, have you shown them our membranes yet?
I haven't changed membranes. Maybe I'll cheat a bit and change it.
And I don't show people how to cheat. You can't cheat at this game. This game is very hard.
Yeah, don't worry, they don't
There's
know the key I pressed just now.
We'll now have loads of people playing the game, pressing each key systematically, trying to work out which is the one that gets to enter the editor.
They have to first enable cheats in the options menu. So hopefully they can figure that
cheat
out.
Button.
That's what this game is going to be about. Finding that secret cheat button.
That's the ascension stage.
I mean, yeah. Just, cheat at
I mean,
being a god.
once the game is like completable, I plan on doing it so that you can only enable cheats after you beat the game in non-dev build versions of the game.
I guess it does make sense, yeah.
So if you now equipped your cell with a different type of membrane.
Yeah, and finally I can make enough glucose to stay alive with photosynthesis.
So they'll have slightly different rigidnesses and visuals and other properties.
They still talk about cell poop. I guess they kinda... I mean, they do excrete excess compounds. So...
Yeah, they do it already.
Yeah.
Maybe I should answer the modding API question I saw in the chat instead of that one.
Good idea.
So there is an active pull request to add like a mod manager and where you can like enable mods and the mods can replace game files and that kind of stuff. So
Crowd new. Glad you could join us.
So once that is like done there, then I suppose we'll have proper modding support. But we aren't planning like having modding APIs in the game. So I think you can like C# reflection open any class and like really mess it up when your mod binary gets loaded. So kind of like in Minecraft where unofficial mod hooks can be made. Same thing could be made for Thrive, but in the long run, once we see what kind of mods people want to make, I'm open to the idea of adding all kinds of mod hooks and stuff to make mods easier to make into the base game. But hopefully the mod support pull request gets done. It's functionally, I think it works, but it has some like code cleanup stuff and other kind of stuff like that, because we want to keep the Thrive code base clean, because we are going to be working on this for like 10 years at least. So we don't want too much technical debt to accumulate.
So I think that sufficiently answers the modding question. Oh, I'm currently watching a colony of cells do a thing.
Yeah.
In Herolena's game. That's very cool. His tide pool has slowly become more populated.
Oh wow, that looks really cool.
Well, I didn't
Look at
go to
those
the
fireworks.
tide
Yeah.
pool this time because there isn't 200% light there, so I didn't see a point going there.
Oh, lots of toxins going all over the place.
Yeah, I evolved a toxin early, so all the derived species also have a toxin. So
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, there, since the remnant thing right there. Kibble. Oh, those are the toxin organelles, aren't they?
yeah,
Oh
those
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
For some,
Oh, it's very
chunks.
pretty.
For some reason, I can't engulf them. Maybe I am too small or something.
Are you
Seems a
pressing
little bit
E?
too small.
He is fire toxin.
Oh, it used to be engulf.
I think G was engulf all the time.
Okay, maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know how this game works. But yes, you can now go around shooting toxins at other cells.
Yeah, here
It's very fun.
I'm trying to engulf this, but I can't. It's just collected stuff coming out of the chunks.
Maybe that's a bug. Or maybe you're just not big enough and you
I
need
mean,
to get bigger to
there
test.
there is a size check for the chunks, but I thought like cell is always big enough to engulf, but apparently not.
Any more interesting questions that people have posted? Will the organelles be remodeled? I don't think that's on the... I assume that's not on the cards anytime in the near future.
I mean, that
Rusty
isn't
said-
an active thing, but like if someone makes models and like the team agrees that they look better, like we can put them in the game.
Our current Rusty Cyan was a placeholder model, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I think it was like the best idea at the time to make it different looking, and that was like brown squares, so that was what was made.
I see.
So yeah, they could be, but it's not something we're focusing on in the near
Well,
future.
what is an actual issue is that I'm trying to demonstrate now, but like the rendering order of the organelles like swaps around, so they glitch a bit on top of each other. Still looking for that graphics programmer to come and fix that.
And you can also change your color, change the color of the cell now, right, in the editor?
Yeah,
You could
that
give
still
a
works.
demonstration of that.
Well, I did already change to green earlier.
Any other questions? Someone's asking about is work being done on other stages. Buckley has answered that.
You can go ahead and iterate yourself if you like.
Well, no, I think, yeah, you've adequately explained it. Like, we're focusing on the microbe stage and considering that to only really be the game for the near future. But I don't know, we might do more just as individual stuff. But yeah, it's not a thing that's in the near future pipeline right now. What about bioluminescence? One sheep asks. That would be cool.
Oh, that's been on the back burner for a while. I do believe that we still have the vacuole in our organelle list, do we not?
Well, yes, I'm currently looking at it in the edit UI in Helena's game.
There it is. Yeah, we haven't
So-
discussed it recently, but
Hmm.
Well, I
No,
mean,
that would be quite cool, just as a cosmetic thing.
yeah, that would be like the initial thing. And there was a pull request back in like 0.4 to add it, but that got outdated very fast and wasn't updated. I think it might have been made by Cronus, so maybe with enough encouragement we might get the luminescent vacuole done. I think it would be pretty easy. Just slap a light on the scene and enable it in the editor, and it will
Surely
do
it would
something.
help with the problems we've been having where cells evolve to be camouflaged too well and kind of disappear into the background.
Well, I mean, they would need to have some benefit from it in order for them to evolve it. Because
Sorry, I meant as in if the player evolves that, it could help them see them.
okay, yeah, but the auto evo prototype currently like has 4 or 5 energy sources, so anything that isn't going to add to those is going to be removed because the cells get pretty heavy penalties, even heavier than like the player themselves for having too many organelles. So I think auto evo will make pretty small species currently.
I'll definitely have to look into discussing bioluminescence sometime. It'd be a really pretty feature.
Yeah, well,
we've
it's nice to
discussed
be
it
able to
quite a bit.
personalize yourselves.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can we move on to another question, or are we still
Yeah, go
answering
ahead.
it?
Go ahead.
Okay, Riverade Ward asks, how much extra complexity will each successive stage add compared to the previous?
That's a good question. It's hard to answer too.
Well, I mean, the previous complexity is going to be hidden somewhat, so I hope that we'll have some. Well, I mean, microbe states initially will have like the lowest complexity, but like
Indeed.
hopefully it doesn't like vary too much. So when you advance to the next stage, you don't have to like individually place organelles in all of your cells anymore. Instead, you place tissues that are like an abstraction of the cell type you created before, and you can like tweak it somehow, maybe. But I mean, I hope that the game won't be too complex later on and too simple early on.
Yeah, you won't be editing cells in the space stage, put it that way. They'll be it's covered to some degree as you move through the game, each of the different layers.
Or
Basically how Spore does it.
Well, maybe. Because, I mean, people want, like, genetically engineer their own species, so maybe we'll have
That
cell
would be cool.
editor in the space stage.
Oh,
But,
dear.
like, it wouldn't be in your face all the time. Like, you would go to, like, some research tab and there somewhere you could, like, do genetic engineering project. Get to the cell editor, but it would be, like, out of the way. You don't have to worry about it all the time.
my personal opinion, I think we'd hope for a more gradual increase in complexity, in a way that the editor would slowly open up more options for the player as they're eased into the game. We don't want things to be overwhelming, so the micro stage being as simple as it is would be a nice start. And maybe had like one additional editor page per stage. But maybe that could be overwhelming as well.
I feel like I don't know, it's likely to have maybe a couple in some stages. Because, for instance, in the industrial stage, you'll have, or in the society stages and stuff, you'll have a tech editor and a culture editor, to name just two.
In my personal opinion, those will actually replace the previous editors. Like behavior editor will become the culture editor, and things like that.
Yeah,
There'd
true.
be parallels rather than true new things.
True. If you don't have the previous editors in the game, then yes.
Okay, now I'm
Works.
big enough to engulf these health chunks.
Ooh, you've become a rhinoceros.
Look at that beautiful rhino.
Let's see if blocking toxins still works. And it does actually, yeah. Maybe it doesn't actually make sense because there are now clouds, but they aren't solid. So, well,
Oh. Interesting. There we go. You can kind of poke the toxins away.
Oh my god.
Any other questions that we've had recently? Oh, how is the planet generator currently going? I too would like to know about this, if anyone has more information, because I remember some people working on that.
Who was it that's had this? It was Nerotiza, right? That was having the most discussions with those.
well, I mean, we had like a code prototype implementation. DJ Whale did some code on it, and I think 1 and 48 YG did some code for it, but it wasn't updated for the Godot engine version, so it's currently waiting to come back at some point.
Yeah, so sometime in the future.
Okay. Questions. How many people are on the dev team? That's a difficult question because it's constantly changing with new people coming or some people becoming inactive.
It's
God,
definitely pretty variable.
Yeah, I say on average somewhere around 10 active people, maybe a bit less.
Well, yeah, depends on active. I'd say a bit over 5. Which reminds me that there's like 2 people on the active programming team list still, who I probably need to remove soon.
But we've gone through hundreds of people who joined the team in the past. It's just that it's difficult to keep people involved in a volunteer project like this, and they're within their right to leave and do other things. Of course. Anybody have other questions? Can't find any others.
Seeing a little discussion on ice spots in there.
Well, we've also discussed it quite a lot, I think.
Indeed so.
Yeah.
Any conclusions come to?
Not as far as I remember.
Well, I mean, I think there's pretty good consensus that like it could make it so that you could find like better photosynthesis places with ice spots. And we would need some graphical way to represent that and show it to the player, and then someone could implement like a basic version, and then we can iterate on it. Basically, kind of like many other features, it's well, it's really no longer waiting on like design work, but someone with programming knowledge to like pick it up and move it forward.
Owen K is asking how much programming experience would you need to be a member of the team? They were planning on taking a course in the spring and were wondering if it would be enough / what language to use. Well, the language, main one, is C#. That's what the majority of the code base is written in.
Yeah,
As for experience level,
the main game.
sorry.
Yeah, the main game is C# now. No longer the case that there are multiple languages in the game itself. So C#. And well, if you want to work on like the scripts and stuff, then a bit of shell scripting and Ruby are what is used, but you don't need to like touch those if you want to like implement a new feature.
Alternatively, if you know JavaScript, then you could work on the launcher, which is written inside Electron.
Yeah, that
using
would be
JavaScript.
nice.
But yes, C# is the main language to learn. As for experience level, Terralainen, do you have any insights on that?
Well, I mean, it's pretty difficult to know. I mean, just like an absolute beginner, if you like know the basic syntax of a language and you can write some simple algorithm like bubble sort, then you probably are too inexperienced. So somewhere where you can like actually start to write a bit more complex like programs yourself. Of course, you can like at any point like look at the drive source code and see how it's made to kind of like figure out what skill level is needed. Of course, then there are like easier issues which require putting some new logic in some place. And then there are way more difficult issues where you need to like design an entirely new system, put it in the game and like edit a bunch of places. So like I think that needs more experience to be able to make a good design. But maybe if you can like program a simple platformer game in Godot using your own code and knows not some like pre-made character controllers and stuff, then you probably have like enough experience to see if you can work on Drive.
All right. I guess it's a good time for me to mention that. So I spent a year in my work placement as part of my university degree last year at a software engineering company writing Java, and I thought since I knew C# was similar, I'd learned that over the summer. So I know the basics of C#, but I don't feel that I'm up to the task of doing anything on Thrive. So yeah, for reference, that was a couple of weeks of learning C# plus a year or more of working on Java. But yeah, if you, as Hirolane said, that's probably, the level he said is probably a good level to start working at. Somebody's asked when they want where they can discuss suggestions and give us suggestions for later stages. The best place would be the community forums because you can then discuss those with other people and let your minds run wild and occasionally have a developer come in and say, no, those are all silly ideas. No. Probably come in and try and frame it in a more implementable and sensible way of creating it. But there are lots of people willing to talk about the game and speculate about its future that you'll find there. So yeah, join the community forums and you can talk about those sorts of things.
Wow, that's quite a lot of toxins floating around.
Oh god.
Quite the minefield.
Yeah, that's about to say.
If I remember correctly, there's currently no spawn cap in the game yet. So
Uh,
things just keep spawning. Is that correct?
There is a total 1000 game entities cap, which
I
can't be
see.
exceeded. That is all the chunks and all the microbes. But it's probably like way too high, or like the despawn and respawn rate is like too high or something. Because there are still like pretty bad frame drops whenever big group of stuff spawns. Yeah, maybe even like I added code that only 2 things can spawn per frame. Maybe that should be reduced to just 1, or maybe even changed so that 1 every 2 frames or something like that. Make it even smoother.
Definitely something we'll have to play around with.
I mean, watching Kinesis stream, like, I mean, he doesn't have very good computer, so like on his stream, like he gets pretty major frame drops when stuff spawns, but on my computer it's mostly fine. Playing about above like 50 FPS there. Something spawned just then, and I dropped
But
to
haven't we established
54.
that your computer? Haven't we established your computer is like super amazing and should not be used as a reference point for whether normal people can play the game?
Well, yeah, but yeah, the spawning is like single threaded, so actually I don't have one of those like new 5 gigahertz gaming CPU, so isn't actually the best. But for example, for the clouds, I can like crank up the like simulation interval or down to like 0 delay, so all the clouds update each frame, and that doesn't like affect anything on my computer. But on just like 2-core computer, it will die if you try that.
Any other good questions come in? Is there anything else planned for the game besides the cell stage? I mean, vaguely, yes. There's lots of vague concepts for all the stages in the future. We know there will be 7 stages: microbe, multicellular, aware, awakening, society, industrial, and space. But we do not know any of the specifics of them because they will rely and depend on decisions that are made in earlier stages. And also, we don't know what sort of team we'll have at that stage and what their capabilities will be.
Well, there are some plans on the wiki, like general overviews. What is going to be it like?
It's a bit of the skeleton framework.
Yeah, we are going to like fill in like the gaps once we get most of the previous states done, so we can like figure out what carries forward and what implications that has for like gameplay in the next stage.
How does the microbe generator work? Ooh, this could be an interesting one because it will link into how the Auto Evo is currently working. Buckley, I assume you're best placed to answer this question.
I would hope so. I don't know about it too much because I don't really work on it.
I mean, if you don't think you can answer the question, that's fine.
Well, I think I know a good deal about it, at least. From what I understand, most of it's based off of your own cell and a bit of randomness behind. As you evolve, other cells evolve from your own species, which is why you'll see on the adapt parts you yourself have adapted. And then Auto Evo adds on new organelles from time to time, or if I'm not mistaken, also can remove them?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how it works, pretty much. And now the new changes allow it to adapt to the environment based on the amount of food and amount of energy that the cell can generate. So if a cell splits off from you and ends up with something you didn't have, let's say a chloroplast, but it's in a biome that has no light, that cell is either going to decrease in population and die, or yeah. Can a already present species aside from the player species evolve?
What do you mean?
Species that are present aside from your own player species, can they evolve, or do they only evolve when they split off from your own?
They evolve each time you go to the editor.
Alright. So yeah.
Yeah,
So all of the cells. Oh, sorry.
it's temporary that a new species is like duplicated from you each time you go to the editor, just to give like the AI something to do, because we don't have like the logic for splitting species yet. So
I see.
yeah. Anyway, AutoEvo will adapt all of the non-player species currently each time you go to the editor, and yeah, they now have the new population calculation, so they will generate random mutations. I think it's 3. Then run the simulation and see which is the best and pick that one.
Yeah, so the cells that you have seen in the Hero Lanen's Thrive playthrough so far have been evolving in a sense. They're not just randomly generated. They have some logic to them, which is nice. It's like a step closer to a true ecosystem going on inside the game, which is what we want to get to eventually. Emerald Gamer 000 asks, "Can I play as a tree?" Not right now. Kind of, unless you make a tree-shaped cell somehow. But the plan is, yeah, you should be able to play as plants. You can play as a photosynthesizing microbe right now, and perhaps choose a more sedentary lifestyle over the smash and grab approach of predators. And then you can go on and take that to be a plant in the future stages. Or that's the hope.
Yeah, it's certainly a challenge to figure out how to make such gameplay interesting and fun, being a tree. But I'm hoping he'll pull through with it.
Yeah, maybe the game will be sped up in some sense so that it's, I don't know, some different type, a different type of game style, or game genre. Other question. Will there be new species of cells generating over time? Yes, eventually. They will be evolving themselves and splitting off each other as they go. Will other species be able to evolve ahead of you, e.g. become sapient before you do? They won't be able to enter other stages before you, as in you will be... I guess in the current plan, you will always be the first sapient creature on your planet. Unless someone wants to contribute in there.
Well, I mean, because the time scales like speed up very fast, so I mean, I've been thinking that if some species gets ahead of you, you get like a few editor cycles to try to overtake them, and if you can't, you get a game over.
Oh.
Because as it says here, well, this is interesting. There's a question mark here.
Oh,
I
nice.
suppose that's a new bug. I think there should be like a...
Oh, okay.
Actually, well, I think there should be like a reduced bit space here, and that character is missing from the font or something. Maybe one more thing to do, but anyway, because each editor cycle is 100 million years, so if someone becomes like sapient before you or a bit intelligent, it's not going to take them many 100 million years to like explode their own planet. So that's why you get like a game over if you are in a microbe stage and some other species goes to aware states.
Somebody asked a question I think we'd already answered somewhere. What was it? What is the behavior tab going to do? So that will be where you can like program other members of your species to act in certain ways, like make them more aggressive or more passive, or tell them to react to certain environmental stimuli in some way. And probably also the behavior tab will include the agent synthesis mechanisms where you can create different chemicals that your cell can produce and store them in vacuoles. And they can do different things like damage other cells, damage specific organelles on other cells, or signal to other cells to do a certain thing, like tell them move away, a predator is coming, or clump together and become a multicellular thing. I may need to go in a minute. If you want to keep going without me, that's fine. I may need to disappear. I'll stay for a few more minutes.
Be included.
Oh god, not this again.
What is it?
Cannibalism. Will it be included? I swear we did a whole podcast. Well, a whole podcast and into this once.
It's an important compound for any great game, basically.
You can't call a game great unless it has cannibalism.
Indeed.
I think the answer was yes, probably. Can't remember exactly though. It was all in a whirlwind of slightly inappropriate memes.
It'd certainly be an interesting mechanic.
Yeah,
True.
Having to look out for your own species has potential danger.
I mean, for the microbe state, it is currently disabled because you don't have any downside to doing cannibalism. So
Indeed so.
once we get like population penalty or something, so you can exchange some population for getting compounds now from one of your own species members. I think that would be a pretty good feature.
That does make sense.
But yeah, that's also in the basket that it's waiting for some programmer to take interest and make an implementation proposal, and then we can iterate on it.
Animation Space is asking, can someone show us the coding process? Maybe open a stream as an example for how features are added when they choose to add features. I'm not sure we need to open a stream to do that. But...
Well, I mean, I've been... If it's asking about like the coding process, I've been thinking about doing like a let's code try stream at some point, but haven't like had the time / motivation to do that yet.
I mean, surely the overview is that people branch off the master, add their features, it gets reviewed by Hirolainen mostly, or if it's Hirolainen's code, someone else. Changes are made, tested, and then eventually merged back into master, or are there any gaps that I've missed?
Well, I mean, that's the process, but I got the picture that, well, because there are actually some Twitch streamers who actually like make a game live. Like they show, like I'm now coding this thing between the Godot editor and the source code and testing it out. I've been also like thinking of making just a let's code video, because like it's pretty hard to like read chat when you are supposed to be like thinking how to implement this, because like otherwise it would be just like 20 minutes of like jumping between files and thinking, tweaking that and tweaking that other thing.
I mean, if
Very
people want
exciting.
to watch, if people want to watch Hero Lane and thinking for several minutes straight about which file to put a thing in, then I guess they're welcome to if he does do that. I don't know how interesting it would be. All right, I think I'm going to have to disappear here, I'm afraid. But it was nice. Hope it was helpful. Hope people enjoyed things. Yeah, I'll say goodbye.
Thank you for joining us, Oliver.
Well, thank you for having me, even though I haven't done anything on the game in ages. But, yeah, I'll help with the podcasts. Right, goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, what now? Suppose we can ask our viewers what they'd like us to do. But that's probably just more questions.
Yeah, that's my
I guess.
guess as well. It's going to be just more questions.
I must say those toxins are quite menacing, surrounding you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I've hit like the entity limit with those toxins, so maybe the game
I think we are.
lags less because no cells can spawn anymore.
So far, you can see the nucleus on Higher Lane and Cell. He's now become the eukaryote. And he is currently starving.
Yeah. It's not really the best situation, it seems. Oh.
He's
Never mind.
currently... What?
He seems to be doing fine after all.
He's gotten him some food now.
Yeah.
He is currently within a 50% light patch, so those thylakoids in the cell are currently not doing the best job. He could probably do better if he puts some more, or perhaps now that he's a eukaryote, he can get some chloroplasts.
Wasn't the ice self 100% light? Or did I
No,
misread
it's...
that?
I do believe it's 50%.
I think it was 100 last time I checked.
Huh. I guess we'll find out.
If you had a choice, would you rather develop a plant-like organism at the start of the development of the multicellular stage, or an animal-like organism?
Yes, personally, I'd like to play as a fauna, as being able to explore the world would be pretty exciting for me.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
forward-
indeed.
I look forward to experiencing the terrain generation we might have in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Erlane, what membrane are you using right now?
I don't think it's the silica, but one next to it.
I do believe that was calcium carbonate now that I think about it.
Okay, yeah, it is 50% light in the ice self. So we'll go to the ocean back. And yeah, calcium
Wasn't there
carbonate.
actually,
What was
wasn't
that?
there actually been work on using metaballs for the membranes at one point recently, or what was that?
There was work on what?
using, what are they called? Meta balls, I think, for the membranes.
Oh,
Or maybe
metaballs.
that's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was discussed.
Knock actually did kind of that. Like it was like you had like points and you had spherical stuff around them and then smoothing and stuff. But like he's busy currently, so his
Ah,
pull requests haven't been updated and that development is on pause.
okay. I'm curious to see what that ends up being.
Well, this is an interesting bug. When I hover over
What's
the
happening?
confirm button, I see the organelle
Oh.
tooltip as well.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, seems to happen each time.
But only after a little bit, right?
Try hovering over a different element. Like, let's say the back or forward arrows.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Now it's showing like two tooltips at once.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we'll need to have Casterisk look at this. This might be related to the other tooltip issue where a control that you aren't hovering over can show its tooltip.
Oh. Oh, right.
Anyway, it looks like I have succeeded in making a plant.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well done indeed.
We have the rhino plant. So,
Detoxing rhino plants. I still kind of wish we could get David Attenborough to come in and narrate something. I guess that's yeah.
what you are
Okay.
judging here is the natural toxic rhino plant in its natural habitat. Watch as it slowly devours this cloud of glucose.
It seems
Exciting.
almost ready for reproduction. As any other cell, it splits into. Yeah.
Life truly is wonderful.
Well, somebody asking what we're planning for 0.6.0. I guess we haven't.
Ooh, yeah, we haven't
Discussed
quite
that.
discussed it yet.
No.
Hmm.
Do we
I
have any
wonder-
suggestions? I guess we can. I don't
I
know.
would wonder what the viewers think we should do.
All right.
I hope that at that point we like have most of the roadmap that's on the wiki that Buckley made done or discussed, not be included.
Arlena, do you think it's realistic we could implement the protein slots? Or are you not sure about that?
Well, I mean, I think there's quite a lot of like small design issues that someone needs to fix, like when implemented it. Like which organelles do we throw out? And yeah, just a whole bunch of code to like hook it into everything.
Well, the thing with organelles is I'm not entirely sure we should throw any out at first. It would be better if we go ahead and implement the system and see if we still want to keep them or not.
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
Ooh. Anonymous 2 is suggesting underwater fire. Yeah, I see where this is going.
Looks like we're becoming SpongeBob, boys.
And it's still happening, the tooltip multiplication.
Yeah. Huh.
I never noticed that happening. It's quite odd.
But did it happen every time? Like early on? I didn't remember noticing.
Now it's not happening.
Yeah.
Wait,
now-
select an organelle. Like just select a part and then go around. Huh. Weird.
thought that maybe like the scrolling thing would do it, but no. Well, at least we have the stream as evidence how it happened.
Indeed so.
Yeah, I guess so. Curious.
Do we still have questions in the chat?
We have a few.
Somebody's asking if it's possible to hunt in packs.
Certainly hope so. That'd be a big part of a behavior editor, being able to program your cells or species to do so.
Yeah. I could also really imagine that sort of working together with early multicellularity, like the way it comes about, maybe. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
make a porcupine cell.
Well, I mean, it can. The pack hunting can actually already happen in the microbe
Kind of
states,
sort of done.
because the AI will select like the same cell to attack. If you have like 8
Yeah.
bacteria very close together, they might select the same target to attack, so it looks like they're pack hunting.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Found another bug. You can try to play stuff even now, but it plays the incorrect sound.
Wait, what? I didn't notice. I was just looking at the chat for a moment.
It's probably coming up in the live stream in a few seconds. Like on the patch map screen, you can click up and below like the GUI elements to get the
Oh, okay.
incorrect sound. So that makes 5 found bugs in this live stream.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't usually like play the game for an hour like this.
I kind of do when I capture footage. I end up actually playing it for quite a while.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think we should. I think I mentioned this somewhere, but I would really like some like game testers on the team. But like that's pretty hard skill to ask someone to volunteer, because they have to like every time a new pull request comes, they have like 24 hours to come and play it, so that I don't get annoyed. and they need to like test well at least like 20 things, and then focus on like the see which files the pull request changes, and based on that like try to guess what breaks, test those. Like those are the best game testers, and then they need to be able to like come up with steps to reproduce the problem and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty high skill to be a good game tester.
Now I kind of want to give it a try. I mean, I'm playing it. At least the closest thing to a release every single time for an hour or two.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely good testing.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope Kinesis plays this release, because he always like finds bugs and stuff.
He's really good at it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess one thing that I haven't mentioned is that I can hear quite a bit of like audio glitching. In like bunch of the sounds like just stop too early or something. Like there's definitely some sound playing code like reusing the sound players or something. I think there's already an issue for that, but just in case, I'll add on my list. Look at that.
We're still discussing the metal smelting.
Yeah, we're back.
Emerald Gamer, would those even be trees at that point?
Hyper intelligent carnivorous trees. They kind of sound Lovecraftian to me for some reason.
Nothing like a forest of trees, they want to eat you.
Yeah, indeed.
And one more bug.
What happened now?
What would that be?
Compounds are shown when their amount is like 0, 0 for many seconds. Like the add cursor thing.
That's quite curious.
Like that isn't very helpful. I doubt there's actually any compound there, but somehow like finding a little bit of concentration to show there, so those should be like rounded out of the list. I mean, yeah, this is what happens each time I play the game. I notice like so many different bugs because I don't always play it. Those guys have flagellum. And that's almost cannibalism.
Huh.
I
They're
killed his
being
friend
attacked.
and he ate the remains and divided. I don't know
Yeah, I guess that is cannibalism, yeah.
what this
Except, of
tells
course,
about life.
And now he just spins around celebrating his great
Spin the
victory.
win, baby.
Somebody asking about air biomes. Is that something?
I wouldn't say that's off the table. It's certainly something we could discuss. I mean, it is possible for cells and microbes to end up in the clouds, isn't it? I recall that being a thing. If only temporarily.
I don't know.
I suppose it would depend on your planet, too.
I accidentally wrote boomer. It just sounds funny to me. An air boomer.
This is an oddly durable cell. Spent quite some time poking at it. Maybe they had a silica shell. Frustule, do you believe to call them?
I mean, that would otherwise would be the case, but I don't think. Well, yeah, actually, I think all of the AI species inherit the players like membrane type. I don't think they can mutate that away either. So I think everyone has the same
Oh, I
silica
see.
cell as me,
Interesting. Oh, you have silica now?
or at what I had before. I can't remember.
Calcium carbonate.
Yeah,
That'd mean that you'd be weak to Pily.
I suppose so. Yeah. Maybe there should be an issue for a, or at least, maybe it is already in the game, but I'm going to check later that AI can mutate membrane type
That would be nice.
and fluidity. Maybe fluidity is already mutatable. Not sure. But anyway, because that doesn't actually affect like the population simulation yet, because that isn't taken into account, so basically nothing will happen. I think I might win next generation. I think, was it 20 generations that you had to survive?
Something like it, yeah. Other 300 population, which you certainly have.
Yeah, that's not much of a problem anymore because you can get really high population now.
Yeah, we might have to raise that ceiling a bit.
Well, once we have rest of the game, it won't be like that. So. Okay, another bug. Windscreen is broken. There we go.
Hey, you thrived.
We have done it. You have done it.
And that's total of 9 bugs slash things to check at some point.
Well, better to find them now than much later.
Actually, let's try if I can actually get the loose screen as well. To see if that works or not. Or maybe I should actually start a new game. For that. Instead, let's save the game.
What are you? Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I see what you're trying to do.
And the extinction screen is broken as well.
Yeah. Oh, somebody, Emerald Gamer is asking if there will be animated cutscenes in game.
Yep.
So will there be more than the actual first one in the beginning?
I've already answered that question 3 times now, actually.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry. God.
No, it's quite fine. I'm not talking to you.
Okay, yeah, that I stopped playing the game now. hopefully that's enough. I won the game.
Yeah, thank you for playing it for us and showing everybody what it's about.
Yeah, no problem. I probably last played as much Strive during the last stream where I like showed it off. Showed my pro gamer moves to win the game.
Well,
I mean, it's almost been like 2 hours, so
I suppose that's good enough.
do we have like any good questions left or something?
Oh, now his hyper intelligent carnivorous trees are also flying.
Ah, yes, a flying carnivorous forest. That's quite the sight.
Does sound like an elder thing to me.
Do I need to go and get like the Discord invite for the community Discord? Did someone post it or not?
What are you getting it for?
For people in the chat, someone said Discord invite.
Yes, of
Maybe
course.
they meant this one, but I'm going to give them the community one.
The multicellular stage hasn't been worked on, though we do have a few concepts for it. Let me see if I can find a nice concept from Yunyao. I do not know how to pronounce that name.
I think that's the right link.
That would be it.
There you go. And for good measure, let's link the community forums as well. Were there any more like good juicy questions in the chat, or should we maybe end the stream now?
I suppose that's it.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to be any new questions as far as I can tell.
Yep, okay. So thanks for coming to the stream. I'm glad that I wasn't alone talking. And
Yes, thank you for coming, everyone.
yeah, I suppose it's time to say bye and end the stream. So bye.
Yep, see ya.
Well, we do have one more question. Do you all want to answer that real quick?
Which one, if the life is still going?
Animation Space just asked, so will you work on binding agent concepts for 0.6? We did have that planned for this update, did we not?
Yeah, maybe next update once I have time to do it, unless someone else wants to make that happen.
Hopefully so. Well, anyway, that should be our last question. Thank you, everyone.